So today we have the 2019 Buick Envision 2.0 turbocharged engine in the all-wheel drive platform, and I'm excited to share with you all how this whole experience has been in the last week. This marks a full week that we've had it, and I want to share my first impressions and what we really think about it. Let's go. Let's go ahead and take a first look at the Buick Envision from the exterior. We have the grille. They have these chrome vents which are not functional. Then we have LED accented headlights with LED daytime running lights. We have these fog lights. On the wheels we have 19-inch aluminum alloy wheels. So coming around the vehicle we have this nice design, a little bit of chrome here and there. And then we arrive at the rear where we have LED accented tail lights as well. And then we have some dual exhaust tips, which looks very nice. I love what they're doing. And then that's the first time I've seen the turbocharged badge on a Buick, so I love what they're doing, especially with their GS series. In some vehicles, I don't believe they're gonna make a GS in the Envision, but it is probable. We'll see what the future of the Envision looks like. If we work our way back around the vehicle, we can see that there's 4 cameras that is part of the safety feature that gives you the 360 surround sound. So there's 2 on the bottom of either of the side mirrors, 1 in the rear, and then we have 1 in the front. So let's talk about the engine and the performance of this vehicle. So we have a 2.0 liter turbocharged engine that produces 295 foot-pound of torque and 252 horsepower, matched to a 9-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, which I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I love that it's a lot of torque, which you kind of it's what gets the car moving. So I really love driving it. We put 420 some miles, and they're all city miles, no highway miles, and it put out to 18.9 miles per gallon, but the EPA rating states 22 for city and 29 for highway. I feel that the EPA rating is pretty close. It's definitely achievable. Now the standard Envision with the standard 2.5 liter engine comes with 192 horsepower and 197 foot-pound of torque. So the turbocharged engine puts it almost 100 foot-pound of torque over. So it's a big difference. It's something where you can actually sense and feel a difference in performance. Now let's talk about cargo space, one of my favorite things that I love in vehicles. Now with the second row up, you have 26.9 cubic feet of cargo room, which is fairly decent. And you also have this nice handle lid you can lift up, and you have this compartment, which I really appreciate. It's nice. I have some shoes that I left there, and a couple of things, some clothes or groceries, things that you can pack for a trip. First aid kits, whatever it is that you need for your family or just for a trip or just your everyday carry stuff. Again, that's 26.9 cubic feet of space. What I really appreciate here are these handles, where I don't really have to pull any like strings or cords or anything. I can just go ahead and pull these down, and then you're just gonna have to kind of push them down a little bit. So that's what you got to do, and that opens it up to 57.3 cubic feet of cargo space. As a parent, one of the things that I really appreciate is just the ease of access into the second row or the third row if a car has that. And in this case, I'm 6 foot tall, and I can easily get in here and install the seat properly, put any pressure, where the seat's rear facing or forward facing, and I really enjoy that. Just it's very easily, I can reach the rear latches, security latches easily as well, and I appreciate that. All right, now that we've looked at the exterior of the vehicle, let's go for a drive. We are in the interior now, and it is very welcoming, very refined, as Buick calls it, and I agree. I really love that touch. Again, Buick is in between Chevrolet and GMC in the lineup of GM cars, which also includes Cadillac. I hate being alone, and I brought our little friend here. My daughter loves dinosaurs. Here's our friend. If you guys want to name him, I'll give you guys that honor, that privilege to name him. One of the first things to note is the actual driving experience. The steering is very precise, which is something I really enjoy because I really love driving. A couple of things that I really want to point out today, in pretty much like my last hour that I have with this vehicle, is I want to get the full experience of the vehicle in a week and using it in our daily lives, as in doing errands, taking the kids back and forth, or going on a small trip, driving around town, sitting in traffic. All of those things that the consumer would put this car, they would find the situation they would find themselves in. Like, one of the only things that I didn't like were to switch the channels on the radio. They're a little bit far spread apart, so I think maybe Buick can work on that layout a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of chrome here. It just feels a little bit dull in the steering wheel button layout. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a lot about the experience and what we feel, how everything goes. So two features that are very interesting to point out in the interior of the vehicle are the air ionizer and also the quiet tuning that Buick has in this vehicle, as well as the Buick Enclave. The quiet tuning has the triple seals on the doors, as well as an acoustic laminated glass on the windshield and the side windows. So it is very quiet in here, very minimal vibration noise frequencies on the highway or on the street. So it's very easily to have a very soft-spoken conversation. Is very calm in here. Ionizer is like an additional filter that helps reduce the pollen, dust, and all that, and it's just very important for not only those that have allergies, but just in general, to keep minimal dust in here, keep it clean. So a couple more things on comfort. The Envision has cooled and heated seats in the front, and it also has heated seats in the rear, which is very, very nice to have. Now, safety, which is a big thing when a lot of consumers are looking, which I think the big three things that consumers look for in vehicles are safety, reliability, and overall value for the package. And in safety, this Envision has 10 airbags, and that's 2 up here in the front, 2 on the side, the curtain ones on the side, then the rear, and then the very back has another 2. Most cars usually have like 5 to maybe 7 airbags, but yeah, 10 airbags is I feel very safe in here. So some of the other features are in the Envision are like lane keep assist, lane departure warning, rear cross traffic alert. It has front collision warning and front collision braking, so if it senses if you're getting too close and it anticipates that, you know, the car is not going to stop in time, the car will apply the brakes for you. This is something that's good to have, especially during traffic where things happen very quickly. I think that's where the majority of accidents actually happen. The way the 360-degree camera view works is that there's a front camera in the front and one in the rear, and then one on either side of the vehicle under the side view mirrors, and then there's a little picture of the overhead picture of the vehicle, and it's not really like a GPS view on it. A lot of people when that either drive me or younger kids, they think that is the GPS, that is like it's actually following you around, but it's just a little picture, and then it looks really cool. It looks like a real bird's eye view of the vehicle. This has the engine, the auto stop feature, where the car shuts off at a red light when you come to a complete stop, not just like a stop sign. The new feature in the 2019 Envision is that you can actually turn that off if that's something that you don't like, which is always great. I love that there are options. Options are very, very important. It adds value to the package. It's a lot more customizable to your liking, to your preference. In this vehicle, we have the rear seat reminder, which is very important, especially for kids. The average of kids that pass away in hot vehicles is 37 kids a year, which is way too high. It shouldn't be something that happens. So things like that are very, very important. So it just reminds you through an audible tone, especially when we're busy or we have stressful lives, or we're behind schedule and we're running, or we're taking the kids to the daycare, or taking it to, you know, our mother-in-law or our moms or family or somewhere, and then it's something that's out of the norm. I understand how some parents can forget. It doesn't make it right, never, but it's something that I'm glad to see that manufacturers like GM and are implementing in their vehicles. For teen drivers, they have a teen driver lockout feature, so you can set the speed limiter, so to, let's say you don't want them to go over 60 miles per hour or 50 miles per hour and that sort of thing, and you guys can lock that out. It can also give you a warning, so how many times the alerts went off, or like the kids can change the radio station if they don't have a seatbelt on. There's a lot of cool features that it sends you, that the car will send alerts to the parent's phone or the guardian's phone. Dual zone climate control is always great. My wife loves the air to be really cold, I not so much. And then we also have rear climate control, which is great. We always love the rear climate control for the kids, especially like I said, Texas gets very hot, here in Houston in particular, very hot and humid. So having those rear vents, that rear climate control, it's always great. You can access that through the front screen here as well. And then you also have a rear climate control lockout, which is very important, which actually the second day we had this Buick Envision, my daughter was playing in the back and she set the heater on like all the way up and on full blast, and I didn't really notice till probably like a minute or two later when the heat was starting to like come to the front of the cabin. So yeah, so that lockout is, I mean, it's great to have the rear vents, but I think having that lockout is very important as well. We gotta understand that we don't always carry adults or younger children in the back. Some families that are considering to buy this vehicle have younger children, and they can really get into that and play with buttons and pull and push things, and things like that do happen. The second row can actually move forwards or backwards to increase up to 7 inches of extra leg room. If you want, you can recline it as well. If you have those little features, little details, is what really adds to the refinement and really adds to the experience and the value of the package as a whole. The moonroof, the full-length moonroof, so I'll go ahead and open that while we're waiting here at this red light. And it goes almost all the way back. It completely goes over the second row, so that is a great feature. The kids love it. Over here on the left, you can turn on or adjust your headlights. You can adjust your brightness of the center console, as well as the position and the brightness of the heads-up projection, which I really enjoy in vehicles. I don't have to constantly be looking. I know it's something that, it's been in cars for a long time. It's intuitive for us to look down at our speeds or check, especially now in newer cars, you can check your oil pressure, your tire pressure. Okay, so what do I think of this vehicle? I think this vehicle is great. It has safety features that are not only audible but also tactile, like the intelligent GM seats that alerts you of the cross traffic alert if it's on the left, right, behind you, and the 10 airbags. Then you have all these safety features, lane keep assist, which are things that you start hearing a lot of, and I think are becoming or would become very soon as standards in the automotive industry. Those features include like lane keep assist, lane departure warning, alerts. You have a rear cross traffic alert, your front collision warnings. All these features just they're supplemental to your driving ability to add that safety, that security for yourself, your kids, your wife, your co-workers, whoever is in all your passengers. So I think this vehicle, the small SUV from Buick, is a very good value for what it's offering at its price range. So this one is at about $40,000, and I just would love to see a little bit more refinement in the steering wheel, maybe the feel a little bit. I mean, it's leather wrapped and everything. I just feel like maybe a little bit more chrome to kind of match the outside as well. I don't want to see a lot of chrome, but I think maybe the steering wheel, which is where it's basically my point, besides the foot pedal, where I'm connected with the vehicle, I'm connected with the road. So I would love to see a little bit more there, a little bit more of the feel, as well as not just so much the look. Besides the seats, they're great, but I think the steering wheel can just look better. It's more of just appearance, but overall the outside, the exterior design is great, the feel is great. I can highly appreciate the quiet tuning and the air ionizer because my wife has allergies, so It is a great package for small families and anyone looking for a little bit more refined and enter into the luxury small SUV, CUV market. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed and found some information and something of value in this review. I hope you guys, if you're in a market or it's just something that you are considered, you guys can go check this vehicle out, test drive for yourselves. And I appreciate you coming to the channel once again. And if you have any other vehicle you would like for us to review, leave it down in the comment section. See you soon.